Now, as Master of Ceremonies for today, it's my privilege to welcome all of you here on a Saturday afternoon to talk about very serious subjects. You know that the topic of our day is paying it forward, harnessing the power of micro-movements in an era of economic turbulence. As it also says in your welcoming brochure, we are here today to help address what is perhaps the most serious challenge that humanity has ever faced, transitioning toward a new socioeconomic dynamic, one that is self-actualizing and self-energizing, looking forward in the future and unlimited to create a more equitable and sustainable future. Then, of course, after we do that, we have lunch, and then we go on to solve the meaning of life. For those of you who have not read the mission statement of the Boston Pledge, let me please repeat it so you know what the Boston Pledge is all about. Our mission is to continue to develop and perfect a dynamic process to enable people in privileged regions to engage with socioeconomic issues in less privileged regions for the purpose of encouraging all-around holistic development and creating a multidisciplinary and multi-ethnic network for service to humanity. So this is pretty serious stuff that we're all here. But I'd like to inject a little bit of levity, if I may. And where's Partha sitting? Where's Partha? He's over here. Partha asked me about a month or so ago if I would mind being Master of Ceremony. And he caught me at a weak moment because I said yes. And but then I really began to get slightly upset because I actually have a doctorate. So I was thinking it shouldn't be Master of Ceremonies, it should be Doctor of Ceremonies. That's a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Doctor of Ceremonies. But then I looked at the program, and after 3 hours at 5:30, there's not a single damn ceremony the whole day. So technically, I'm Doctor of Non-Ceremonies, which is very logical, but very silly at the same time. So knowing Partha as well as I do, and he knowing me a little bit, maybe he, instead of MC meaning Master of Ceremonies, he meant Manager of Creativity. So what could I do that would be creative to start off a serious conference? So I thought about myself in the audience at conferences like this. And at the end of 3 or 4 hours, my derriere, my rear end, I'm a little tired. And I didn't have much chance to speak because we have brilliant speakers here this afternoon. So I'm going to give you a chance to speak. So I want everyone in the spirit of creativity, please stand up. Look around you, and I've been tasked. If I want to ever find out that I'm a timekeeper, I'm in trouble because I never look at my watch in 10 years. We only have 120 seconds, 2 minutes, to the group around you, 3 or 4 people, and just talk about what your expectations of the day might be. Go.
It's recording video, seriously.
This is wonderful. You created a wonderful amount of energy. You see the energy already different in this room? Yes, now we can tackle some of the stuff. What were some of the things that came up in your group? A couple of comments. Come on, well, I want these esteemed teachers in front of you who are going to talk. I want them to make sure that they know what you want to hear. So what were some of the things that bubbled up in your group? Quick.
Inspiration. People want to be inspired.
Inspired. That's good. Thank you, Raj. Next. You talked about the weather. All right, well, I'm still on time. This is good. My wife's going to be thrilled. But before I introduce my dear friend Partha to you, I do want to tell a quick story about Raj, that Raj reminded me of. How many of you have ever gone to the website TED? Yeah, this is more than I usually. And now, how many of you have seen Sir Kenneth Robinson? Have you seen his stuff? You got to see his stuff. So I'm going to repeat one story that ties into what Raj's comment was. It's a story of a little girl who is in a drawing class in London. And she's drawing away like crazy. And the drawing teacher, the art teacher, comes over and says, "Sweetheart, what is it you're drawing?" The little girl looks up and she said, "I'm drawing a picture of God." And the teacher looks at the little girl and says, "Well, you know, no one's ever seen God before." Without missing a beat, she says, "They will in a minute."
And this is what I hope today we have, this inspiration to know that the impossible is possible. And I think that a lot of what we're going to be talking about today is the capabilities that we have. Regrettably, and I don't mean to knock first and second grade teachers, but some of them have gone out of their way to teach our kids to draw inside the lines. My daughter's in second grade. She's drawing inside the line. I love it when she's not drawing inside the line. So we have to be more creative, and that turns me over to my friend Partha. It's exciting to introduce Partha to you. I see him all the time over at the Gordon Institute of Technology, where I teach part-time. When I think of the word strategy, I think of Partha, because this is the work he's done almost his entire life. He started off doing a lot of his work at McKinsey & Company, a small, lesser-known consulting company that you may have heard of. He's done it also in his own company, and he also teaches at Fletcher School, the Gordon Institute of Technology, at MIT in the area of innovation, strategic technologies, globalization, and leadership. Now, because of all these commitments, Partha doesn't really have much time to eat. So if any of you have extra food during the break, please give it to Partha, because he's so busy teaching and helping the world in strategy that he's hungry. That's why he's always like, so Partha.